Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be looking at Inquisitor Martyr, a brand new patch dropped last night, and it introduced the new Psyker. Now I've been playing this guy just a little bit. I got my main character up to level 3, but what I thought I'd do, I would jump in, show him off, show off all the psychic abilities, show off all the traits, everything like that, just to bring you up to date with this new patch. So let's jump in and let's get started. So when it comes to playing the Psyker Inquisitor Martyr, you have 3 paths to start out as. One is the Imperialist, one is the Aether Walker, and one is the Scry. If you go down here, it'll tell you all the different little abilities and all that kind of stuff, which makes it special to you. I've actually gone with the Imperialist. I thought that class very much suited me. I think it's more of a Psyker role with his big staff, and he can put out more psychic abilities. So I went with this one. Now if we just cancel this and we just go over, this is my character which I have now. Like I said, I only started him last night. He's only level 3, but I've very much been enjoying playing the Psyker class in the game. So what we're going to do, we're going to select this guy, we're going to jump in, and we're going to purge and show you some of the awesome stuff. So as you can see, the hub is basically the same. Of course, this is my new Psyker character. If I zoom in, you'll just get a little bit of a look on him. Very nice model. I'm actually enjoying some of the models and some of the armor that this guy gets. If we just press C, you can actually see him a little bit more. I can just spin him around all the way like that. Again, I've been playing him. I've put some armor on him and stuff like that. I've actually sold most of my gear which I got last night, but you can see some of the armor that I managed to get doing some of the missions last night. What they actually have now in this patch, they have a new story mode which has been put in. So when you start with your new character, there's this big opening story cinematic. I actually put that on my channel, and there's all this cool little missions that you actually do upon the ship before actually getting to this hub. So I suggest if you are if you are new to the game, then that introduction story tutorial is really going to help you, because I do remember that some people were a bit concerned that they didn't really know what to do in the game and there wasn't really a lot of tutorials there to help them. You do now have that in the game to help you out. So if we quickly move on to the skills, we have some new psychic stuff here. So we've got the psychic debuffs, which I've put nothing in, so you can see like unlock temporal stasis, stuns and all that kind of stuff, and the psychic combat, which I have been putting in, which is more or less damage with your psychic stuff. If you actually go to the end one, it's plus 20 damage to all force weapon skills. So this is what I'm trying to do with my character. I'm trying to make him a full-on Psyker purge mode at the moment. Now, all the stuff at the bottom is still the same. So you've got your character, which we've just seen. We've got the inventory, we've got the skills, we've got the heroic deeds, we've got the social tab. So again, these are your friends. So example, Gung has just added me as a friend. If Cabal as well, if of course people want to join my Cabal, there we go, accept application. All that is there. So what we're going to do now, we're going to jump in, we're going to go on the star map, and we're going to show off the Psyker in his prime, in his combat, and unleash all the glorious psychic deeds upon these vile Xenos. So let's jump in and let's see some purging. Okay, so here we are actually in the mission. I've actually cleared some of this room just so I can just show off some of the psychic abilities. So down here are all your weapons. If you press tab, you do switch it out, and you can, well, I just have another staff, so I haven't really got anything which changes all the abilities, so I'm just going to go back to my main ability. And what we've got here is the Force Bolt, we've got the Bio Lightning, we've got Inferno, we've got Molten Beam, and my personal favorite, which is Fiery Form. This is basically puts like a psychic fiery barrier around you, and you can just run into enemies and it just kills them and all that kind of stuff. It's absolutely amazing. And we've got the phasing, which is attached to our armor. You can teleport the Psyker to a designated location, which is really good if you want to get out of certain situations, which for the Psyker is probably needed because they're not a tanky class, they're more of a range damage class. If you get overwhelmed, you can really start taking some damage. So let's show off some of the psychic powers. Let's start with Bio Lightning. So if we press 1, that is the Bio Lightning there. If we press, now this is, well, I call it the Emperor's Tornado. So if we hit that like that, it summons a tornado which basically goes around and just starts burning everything in like an AoE kind of thing. It's really good against big groups. And then you have the Molten Beam, which is really just like a beam coming from your thing. But if you can see now, this has gone red down here, and it's gone red because I'm using too much of my psychic power. If you actually go overboard using psychic powers, you actually start doing damage to yourself. It's basically perils of the warp. The more you do, the more damage you can do to yourself and potentially kill yourself as well. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go on full-on Psyker mode, and we're going to go and try and get perils of the warp. So I'm just going to go with a beam. So let's try this now. You can see now, you can see like all the effects of me and all the damage I'm taking. Look, there's even a chaos star being summoned because there's just so much stuff. And there we go, I got stunned, and I've lost a huge pool of health just because I just went overboard on my psychic abilities. I really love that. I love that there's a disadvantage to using your psychic abilities, so you can't just run in and just purge everything and think, okay, everything's okay, I can just go in, throw all the lightning bolts and just get out of there. You have to be very careful when it comes to using your psychic abilities. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to show a little bit of gameplay off against some enemies before I go back to the main menu, and we have a nice little talk about the game, what I like, what I dislike, maybe some improvements and stuff like that. So this room is full of vile heretics, so let's go in and let's see if we can purge them. Right, so I'm going to activate my shield. Like I said before, I love this shield because you can just get next to people and burn them to death. Die, vile heretic. I want to say Xenos, but they're not Xenos. They are heretics. Oh my holy emperor, they're drop podding in. Oh my god, they're everywhere. Flee, Valrak, you're a fool. So okay, I just need to gather my strength out. Right, I'm going to activate this. Uh-oh. I'm going to run into these guys. I must have like done perils of the warp then, because I summoned some nasty Psyker stuff which wants to kill me. I'm just running into all these. Boom. Boom. You shall all burn. You shall all burn. Oh, I got a kill streak. You shall all burn in the Emperor's name. I've been slowed. Maybe I should destroy this alarm beacon. You can see I'm taking a lot of damage with the Psyker thing down here. So again, that really is something you have to watch, because you will end up killing yourself. I've nearly killed myself a couple of times already on this character. So yeah. Okay, I think that's pretty much enough combat to show off some of the Psyker stuff. I just want to briefly return back to the main menu and discuss the game somewhat, but basically some improvements and, you know, some of my honest feedback about where the game is at the moment. So let's jump in and let's get started with that. Okay, so here we are, we're back on the main ship now, and I just want to go over some of my thoughts and feedback on the game and just discuss it. So first thing, the Psyker class itself, very fun. I'm actually really loving it. I think it's the best class I've played with this game. I think it's re-inspired me to start playing Martyr a bit more. I just got a bit bored of the Assassin and the Crusader. They were nice classes, but this one seems a lot more fun. It seems like the playability of this one is really going to keep me coming back to the game itself. Now, the due date for this game is supposed to be Q1 of this year, 2018, and there's quite a lot of stuff that still needs to go into there. I've got to say that optimization-wise, the FPS I'm getting now is over 100, but I am on the main hub. On missions, I normally get between 80 plus, but in some situations where there's a lot of things in the room, there's a lot of pillars exploding, there's a lot of enemies dying and stuff like that, I am still experiencing huge frame drops, which is putting me down to 40, sometimes 20 FPS. So hopefully the devs can fix that optimization before launch, because that is one of the main things I'm seeing from people, is that the game is not running fully on their systems. If there's one thing that this game has got right, is that I definitely think there's a lot of passion from the developers in the team. You can see that with the designs in the maps. You can see that with like the characters. Like if I go back to my character tab and I just look at all the armor and stuff, how it's all been designed. The art style really does fit the 40k setting. I think they've really captured it, and I think they can only improve it from here. I would love to see a bit more customization. If truth to be told, I would love to maybe change some of the colors on my coat and some of my armor and stuff like that. You know, like a little palette tab that Dawn of War used to have, where you can just go in and set like white for armor and trims and stuff like that. Maybe something like that in the future. But all in all, the customization in this game is very good, and I think it does meet the standard of the 40k setting and atmosphere. I do think this patch is a success. I have very much enjoyed playing the Psyker. I think it's going to bring a lot of new people into the game. I think it's going to bring a lot of people back to the game. One of the things that I've seen from the wider community is that it got a little bit boring. It got a little bit there was just nothing there, and this is down to the developers themselves, because this is a problem with a lot of 40k games, is that they're released and people get to the end, they get to, like, for example, Battlefleet Gothic, the multiplayer just completely died out because there was just no new content added. So if the developers can keep up that content trend, keep adding new armor, keep adding new missions, keep on with the story which is actually in the game, which is supposed to be a big part of the game, then I'm sure that this game is going to be a very, very well-known 40k game in the coming months. Like I said, Q1 2018, this game is due out. There's a lot to do. I'm going to be keeping an eye on it. I'm going to be following it. I'm going to be streaming this game. I'm going to be making a lot more content for this game in the coming weeks. So if you're interested, make sure you check out my channel and follow all that stuff. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. If you've got any questions, post them below in the video and I'll do my best to try and answer them. Thank you, and bye-bye.